Information Kanapial. The morning of December 7, 1941 dawned like any other on the island of Oahu. The sun glinted off the calm waters of Pearl Harbor, a serene scene masking the impending chaos. At 7:55 a.m. the tranquility was shattered. Japanese aircraft soaring in from the north descended upon the unsuspecting U.S. Pacific Fleet. The first wave, composed of fighters, bombers, and torpedo planes, struck with deadly precision. Battleship Row, home to 8 majestic warships, became a scene of unimaginable destruction. The USS Arizona, struck by an armor-piercing bomb, exploded in a fiery inferno. The USS Oklahoma capsized under a relentless aerial assault. Across the harbor, airfields were transformed into infernos, hangars collapsing under the weight of burning aircraft. The attack, a meticulously planned act of aggression, caught America off guard. Amidst the chaos and carnage, acts of extraordinary heroism unfolded. Sailors, many still in their pajamas, raced to their battle stations. Doctors and nurses worked tirelessly, tending to the wounded as bombs rained down around them. The sky, once clear and blue, was now choked with smoke and the stench of burning fuel and flesh. The day that began with such promise had descended into a nightmare. The attack, lasting just over an hour and a half, left an indelible mark on the American psyche. In its aftermath, over 2,400 Americans lay dead, a stark testament to the human cost of war. The once mighty Pacific Fleet lay in ruins, a symbol of the nation's vulnerability. The Day of Infamy, as President Franklin D. Roosevelt would later call it, had awakened a sleeping giant. The news of the attack on Pearl Harbor sent shockwaves across the United States. Americans huddled around their radios, disbelief turning to anger as the horrifying details emerged. The attack, a violation of American soil and sovereignty, shattered the nation's sense of security. Isolationism, a long-held principle, crumbled in the face of such unprovoked aggression. On December 8, President Roosevelt addressed a joint session of Congress. His voice, heavy with emotion, resonated through the chamber as he declared, "Yesterday, December 7, 1941, a date which will live in infamy, the United States of America was suddenly and deliberately attacked by naval and air forces of the Empire of Japan." His words, etched in history, galvanized a nation. Congress, with only one dissenting vote, declared war on Japan. 3 days later, Germany and Italy, Japan's allies in the Axis powers, declared war on the United States. America, thrust onto the world stage, was now fully engaged in a global conflict. From factories to shipyards, the nation mobilized for war. The attack on Pearl Harbor had a profound impact on American society. Millions of young men answered the call to arms, enlisting in the military. Women, traditionally relegated to domestic roles, entered the workforce in droves, taking on jobs in factories and shipyards. The nation, united in its grief and outrage, was determined to avenge its fallen and defend its freedom. The seeds of conflict between the United States and Japan had been sown long before the attack on Pearl Harbor. Japan, a rising military power with expansionist ambitions, had been steadily encroaching on its neighbors in Asia. Its invasion of Manchuria in 1931 and subsequent war with China in 1937 raised alarm bells in Washington. The United States, committed to its policy of neutrality, initially responded with diplomatic pressure and economic sanctions. However, Japan's alliance with Nazi Germany and Fascist Italy in 1940, forming the Axis powers, heightened tensions. As the war in Europe raged, the United States provided increasing aid to Great Britain and its allies, a move that further antagonized Japan. Japan, heavily reliant on imports of oil and other raw materials, viewed America's embargoes as a threat to its national survival. Admiral Isoroku Yamamoto, architect of the Pearl Harbor attack, believed that a decisive blow against the U.S. Pacific Fleet would buy Japan time to consolidate its gains in Southeast Asia. The attack on Pearl Harbor, while a tactical victory for Japan, proved to be a strategic blunder. It failed to destroy America's resolve, instead igniting a firestorm of anger and determination. The sleeping giant had awakened, and its industrial might and unwavering spirit would ultimately turn the tide of the war. A world at war, global consequences. The attack on Pearl Harbor marked a turning point in World War II. The United States, with its vast industrial resources and manpower, joined the Allied cause, tipping the balance of power. The war, already a global conflagration, escalated dramatically. In the Pacific, Japan, emboldened by its initial successes, swept through Southeast Asia, capturing the Philippines, Hong Kong, and Singapore. The United States, reeling from the Pearl Harbor attack, fought back valiantly, but suffered a series of setbacks. The Battle of Midway, in June 1942, however, proved to be a decisive turning point, crippling the Japanese fleet and shifting the momentum of the war. In Europe, the United States poured troops and resources into the fight against Nazi Germany. American forces landed in North Africa in 1942, liberating it from Axis control. The invasion of Sicily and Italy followed in 1943, opening up a new front against the Axis powers. The D-Day landings in Normandy, France on June 6, 1944, marked the beginning of the liberation of Western Europe. The war, fought on land, sea, and air, raged on for 4 long years. Millions of soldiers and civilians perished in the conflict, victims of combat, disease, and genocide. The atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki in August 1945 finally brought the war to an end, ushering in the nuclear age and a new world order. Don't forget to support me and subscribe to my channel, like and share so that this content reaches more people. Thank you.